this story, which I thought was relatively interesting. Now, y'all know that I'm a huge horror movie fan. I love horror movies, but one of the things I've always said is that what we need is a lot more queer representation, especially in horror, because, queer people, we are someone who definitely resonates with a lot of things that's going on in horror, especially a lot of the monsters. Like, I think a lot of times queer people relate to, we kind of resonate with Pinhead, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger. When we see a lot of these, werewolves, vampires, all these other things, we always kind of resonate with a lot of these characters. So when we get into of course, the zombie genre, I was like, and I've always had this idea that I've been working on with, well, I have a queer vampire idea that I'm working on and a zombie one. But this story I found relatively interesting because based off the cast that we have being a part of it. So, daughter of director George A. Romero, I should say the late director, who done Night of the Living Dead and many of the others, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Army of the Dead. Like, he's done a lot of the Dead films. So his daughter Tina Romero is directing a zombie movie of her own called Queens of the Dead. Now, this tea is coming from Deadline, so shout out to y'all. Jaquel Spivey from Mean Girls, Katie O'Brien, Love Lies Bleeding, which I just saw has been added to HBO Max. I need to check that movie out. Margaret Cho, who's in Fire Island, Bridget Lundy Payne from I Saw the TV Glow, which I heard was another one that's good, and I need to see that because then Justice Smith is in that, and Cheyenne Jackson, well, I've always another one I had a crush on. American Horror Story are among those set to star in Queens of the Dead, a new horror comedy directed by Tina Romero, daughter of legendary director George A. Romero, who did, like I said, all the Living Dead movies. Now, co-written by Aaron Judge and Tina Romero, the film pays tribute to the zombies from the elder Romero classic zombie films with a fresh, contemporary, and queer twist, promising to offer a genre-smashing glam gore thrill ride through the zombie apocalypse. They said the story follows an eclectic group of drag queens, club kids, and frenemies. I was like, first of all, when I heard this, wait, let me just finish reading before I go on my whole thing. So, excuse me. So it said the story follows an eclectic group of drag queens, club kids, and frenemies who must put aside their personal dramas and use their unique skills to combat the brain-thirsty undead when a zombie apocalypse breaks out during their drag show in Brooklyn. See, I wanted to actually say, put aside their personal dramas and use their charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. See, that's what they should have said. That would have been a good RuPaul's Drag Race reference. But I was like, first of all, I'm mad because I'm like, why am I just not hearing about this? Because I would have auditioned. Y'all could have made me the gay cop, something or another. Like I would have loved to audition for a part in this movie, especially because it's giving me basically the vibe that I need. And I do be going to the parts in Brooklyn. I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna shoot a $3 bill. That would be a perfect place to shoot this whole a zombie apocalypse situation where somebody comes in, they're bitten or whatever, and then there's a whole attack going on in there. And you could use a lot of, the Brooklyn drag queens. You could get JK from Dragula and a bunch of other queens to show up and be a part of the film instead of, because one of my friends is being shady when they brought up that Nina West from RuPaul's Drag Race could be in here. He was like, y'all could have picked anybody else but her. I said, oh, you shady. So yeah, in addition to Nina West, Tomas Matos, who was in Fire Island, I actually liked them in that role. Quincy Dunbaker from No Hard Feelings, Becca Blackwell from Bros, Charnette Renee Wilson from Black Panther, Dominique Jackson, yes, my girl Tyra O'Loy, Dominique Jackson Ross from Pose is going to be in it. Ricky Lindholm, as y'all can see, you can see Dominique in the photo. Ricky Lindholm from Knives Out and Eve Lindley. So this is going to be big cast, and I'm liking what I'm hearing so far. But I do hope that they put a lot of local drag queens from New York to make cameos and stuff in there as well. And I hope they're actually shooting it here and not just going to pretend it's New York, but it's fucking Canada. So it's that George A. Romero, often referred to as the godfather of zombies, revolutionized the horror genre with its groundbreaking films Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, with his work influencing countless filmmakers and becoming a cornerstone for modern horror. While it's unclear if the project is still active, Romero's influence is clearly highlighted in MGM's 2022 move to acquire rights to a new Night of the Living Dead sequel with Nani Nikyatu Jutsu coming aboard to direct. Following George's 2017 passing, Tina looks to carry the torch with a talent-rich film loaded with practical effects, jump scares, laughs, and lumbering zombies amassing on the streets of Brooklyn. Given its focus on the historically disenfranchised LGBTQ plus population, the film should fit in naturally with George A. Romero's Hoover, which used a zombie apocalypse to examine social injustice among many other themes. And that's why I was like, this actually works because that has always been the theme and the ongoing theme within, if you ever watch George Romero's zombie movies, it's always had social commentary attached. Even the original Night of the Living Dead in black and white, which I remember my mother telling me that that movie used to scare the piss out of her because, it was black and white and all that. And I remember as a little kid when I saw it, I was freaked out too because I was like, I had never seen nothing like that before. Like I really wasn't introduced to a lot of horror when I was a kid. Like I said, I was very much like my mother's like, y'all can't be watching R-rated movies, although there were ways that I got around and snuck and watched them. But I remember when I saw them and I was seeing like these people eating other people, I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like I was freaking out. So seeing this coming from this angle, and I've seen the naysayers online talk about, oh, this movie's gonna be horrible and woke and blah. I was like, you know what? I'm sorry, bigots, but not everything is for y'all. As a person who identifies as part of the queer community and as a fan of horror films, why can't we have the representation that y'all take for granted? Everything is not for y'all. If y'all don't want to see a zombie movie with drag queens and all this other stuff in it, then don't fucking watch it. It's like the other day, and you know what this reminds me of? After I first saw this article, it inspired me to actually go over on Tubi and watch Slay, which is a vampire movie with Trinity the Tuck and there's a bunch of other queens and stuff in it too. Heidi in Closet's in it, Caramel is in it. Um who's the other one? Diabetica is was it Diabetic? I think so. No, who was the one? Yeah, wasn't it Diabetic? I think it was in there. Diabetica. The one that they always called that had the El DeBarge haircut. I think it was Diabetic. But anyway, I could be wrong. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, it was a cute film. It wasn't bad. I actually thought, because I always hear this reputation, Tubi releases bad movies, and um, a lot of their films are shit or whatever. But I'm like, that's not necessarily true. So I sat and watched it because it's basically a bunch of drag queens who get hired to show up at some bar in the middle of nowhere, and it's a bunch of hillbillies and stuff that's hanging out in the middle of nowhere. Then there's a vampire that's going around biting people and then basically turns them into like vampires and all this other stuff. They have to fight for their lives. And then they burst into glitter, which was a cackle. So, and then seeing Trinity Tuck up in there, channeling her in a Buffy. And I was like, this is actually a cute movie. So if y'all get a chance and y'all got Tubi is free, first of all, so you ain't got to pay for it. Definitely check that movie out because I was entertained. But for the most part with this, they basically said Vanishing Angels, Matthew Lee Miller, and Natalie Metzger will serve as the film's producers. The film is financed by Creativity Capital. Stated Miller of Vanishing Angels said, as soon as we started casting, we knew we needed a team that could deliver on the film's bold, eclectic vision. This cast exceeds our wildest expectations. Their combined talent and chemistry are electrifying. Tina's vision is a game changer, and we believe this ensemble will create something truly unforgettable, honoring the Romero legacy while pushing the boundaries of the genre. And Miller's favorite fellow producer Metzger added, I've been obsessed with this script and Tina's vision from the moment that I read it. It's so incredibly fun and unique. The film is not just a continuation of Romero's legacy, but a first take that is sure to captivate our new generation of horror fans. And so I will say that this is actually going to be, it sounds like a pretty cool idea. I'm actually excited to see it. I'm really hoping that she could pass the torch, that she has been passed the torch and be able to give us a quality horror movie. Because remember, y'all had M. Night Shyamalan daughter out here made that movie. What was it? The Stranger or something or another, where they were like with Dakota Fanning and they were stuck in like some glass house in the middle of nowhere or whatever, and people said that movie wasn't that great. So not everybody can, turn a turd into a diamond. It's not easy to direct a movie. I've heard mixed reviews on M. Night Shyamalan's daughter's movie. Then you also have, David Cronenberg's kids are out here filmmaking. So hopefully this is going to be a good one. I'm excited to see where they're going to go with this. I love like zombie movies is my favorite genre, and I'm definitely curious to see where they're going to go with this topic and where they're going to go with this film. And I hope it's actually going to be good. I didn't know if they were going to do comedy for say slapstick or whatever, but you got to have those funny moments in a horror film. Otherwise, if it's too serious for me, sometimes I'll just be on edge. So like I said, I'm excited to see this film, but I ask you all, are you guys excited for this movie? Um, I've always been someone that's just like, we need more queer representation in horror films. Like, just like every other genre has their own films that get to tell stories, and give a genre a different choice. So we need that excitement and we need those different things that's going to come in and give us something nuanced and different. And if you have a great idea, put it out there. Who gives a damn about what the biggot's got to say? But if we go see a zombie outbreak situation with a bunch of drag queens and club kids, like it's going to give me very much Party Monster meets Dawn of the Dead or Night of the Living Dead. I'm here for it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I should also say, you know what? I've been out here, and if there's some people out here that, if you're in New York and y'all want to work on some stuff, horror movie wise, I went to film school. I am a screenwriter, that sort of thing. If there's some people out here that want to collaborate and work on some stuff as well, hit a bitch up. So, we can collaborate and come up with some things. Because I've always wanted to be out here doing not only just like working in music, whatever, but film as well, and coming up with a lot of things that I love, horror and stuff. But I've always been looking for like-minded people that are into the whole horror thing, but coming up with those same ideas of genre, vampires, werewolves, or zombies, whatever, slash a gay. Like I even have an idea. And I think I told Stella Merman I had this idea for a gay slasher movie, and he was like, "You need to write that, or you need to." So that way he could read it, and he'll probably come in and probably work on the what do you call it, the storyboard visuals, all the other stuff, because he draws and things. So I was like, yeah, but I'm like looking for a fellow co-writer, somebody that I can collaborate with. But yeah, I'll write the shit down and then have somebody come in and kind of clean it up. But yeah, so anyway, enough of my stuff. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.